Just for a moment, we need to think of your blueprint. So what was your parenting blueprint in your childhood? You don't need to say it, but just think back. But whatever it was, we all refer to whatever that was in our past and when we're under stress. So as I said, that part about the slap, back in my day, it was, give the person a good slap or give them a spanking. It could be swearing at or name calling in abusive situations. I don't even want to go into some of the treatment that has been done to children. But that is what every person returns to under stress. And that is why that the regulation, the calming, the cognitive piece, I feel like this is what I'm going to do. Okay? So many ineffective, fear-based, trauma-inducing tactics are still in use in homes, in schools, and in child care environments. Last summer we had a summer camp, a program for kids with extreme needs, and all the kids who come in, the kids who come to New Growth Family Center are not out in community events. It means they cannot function, so they're all extreme needs kids. But we had a young staff there, and she was away and had a friend working in a summer camp up north somewhere and by a lake. And she came back, she was absolutely irate. Her friend had said that in the camp where she was working, they had a strategy that if a child was misbehaving, they would make the child wear a pull-up diaper, and on it was written, I forget the word, but it was a demeaning, humiliating word about being a baby, and had to wear this for a period of time. The young woman was very upset, shared it with her friend who was working with me, and she brought this back and told me what she said. You would be just so upset, I've got to tell you this. And I was. But the young woman on the staff went to the team leader and shared her concerns, and the team leader saw nothing wrong with that. All of the staff were in their 20s, and they all believed that this was helpful and useful, and it was not causing any problem. And so even younger generation is reverting to these kinds of things. Anything that brings humiliation or fear is trauma. She even went to the supervisor, and the supervisor said, just leave it alone. And we had hoped that one of the parents would speak up, or many of them, because they needed to hear that. And parents do have power for schools and daycare centers and any child caring facility. Parents need to be there. Parents need to ask questions. Parents need to make sure that things are changed, because if people just let it go, it goes on, and I'm telling you that it does, if it's not spoken to. Parenting blueprints can be changed and adjusted, and they can even be erased. So knowing that back in the day that giving a child a slap on the side of the head was okay then, it isn't okay then. It never was and never will be. So to say that that can be changed, and to know, though, that there are alternatives and the alternatives work, it doesn't lose its firmness, it doesn't change the learning outcome, but it certainly is a love-based approach, a firm love-based approach with boundaries and limits, healthy boundaries and limits. And this is what we need to change our parenting blueprints to. The blueprint that I had came from a parent who was raised in an institution, who had to please people in order to be liked, or she would be put out on the street. She had to make herself be and do anything that was good so that she would not be sent away. And that message came through to me to become a people pleaser, and to not disagree with anyone, and to not stand up for what's right and good, including myself. And so to say, did my parent consciously do that? No, that's all she knew. But to know that I've changed greatly, so I'm here today to say to you that a blueprint can be totally changed and eradicated. Someone had a question here, and it was about something being done before a person, parents. How can intervention take place so that people learn how to meet all the needs of children before they conceive? I would have to say that the more that we're learning and empowered to do, we learn by how we're treated. So you're going to leave here with new information, and my goal is that you're going to pass it on. You're going to use it yourself, but you're going to share this with anyone and everyone, including your children, your grandchildren, any children in your care. And it's like, how do we change this? It's like a sandwich approach. We need to deal with the top, which is the extreme needs of the families and children I deal with, and it's also to start preventing by working with younger people and sharing the word, and then gradually it meets in the middle. There's 3 responses by I did a few more. There's responses by unknowing adults, and I still see this happening, as I said, such as in even Sunday school and in places where we would least expect. Ignore and condone the behavior. So just let it go. Kids who are swearing and being rude and obnoxious, and the adults just look the other way, the message to that child is, must be okay. And when we talk about kids who are going out away from home and into areas where they're learning quite different behavior from home, if no one says anything, must be okay, it's working for me. Many adults shut their eyes and don't say anything. Even teachers on schoolyards supervising will look the other way because they may not know how to handle it, or they don't have time to handle it. So in a sense, for those children, it's condoning it. The other is to pounce and make a point, and that is to jump on somebody, not literally, but throwing things. They're still going on in classrooms. It's, grab somebody by the shirt, walk over when someone's turned around and slap them on the back of the head, grabbing somebody's arm, those kinds of things. That's traumatic. Talk about it and then quit, and these are adults who talk about the behavior after the situation is over and share it around, this child did this child did that, and then they just quit the situation and leave whatever it is instead of doing something about it and working with the child. Threaten with punishment, yell, spank and slap, withhold things. If you don't do this, we're not going to this, lunch, we're going to hold you after school. That's the end of your weekend, all that stuff. Belittle and humiliate. And that's one of the ones that I gave you before. These things are still going on, and that's from past blueprints that have not been eradicated, didn't work then, and they don't work now.